You ever just get those feelings where you just look at something that's coming over to the FGO NA version and you're like, I feel like we're going to be getting a banner for something like this, because I know we're supposed to be getting a banner with Ibuki and Kitoki over here, and this is obviously a fine enough banner that realistically, who knows when this is actually going to come out. I mean, the wiki has it slated to come out during December. It originally came out on November and on the JP version of the game. Who knows, right? They could just stuff the 24 million download campaign onto the high-end Kyo story clear support campaign over here. And that honestly wouldn't surprise me, because they're like, well, you know, Ibuki and Kentucky are right here. Why don't we just smush them together, right? It's not like it's super unprecedented for them to just throw a random banner our way, especially because this doesn't have anything else attached to it. Like, you can just see it's like, oh, here's a couple of Saint Quartz, which is obviously really nice. You know, we always love getting free Saint Quartz, and you get a free lore, which Lord knows I am in desperate need of. I just did a little bit for getting NP5 on Gramini, where I maxed out all of his skills, and it was really dumb of me to do because I'm looking at a bunch of actual good units. I mean, I was going to be doing some gameplay for the Mordred video, my bad, not Morgan, but I couldn't even get the skills to 10 because I'm out of lores. I was like, well, that was really dumb of me to do that bit, but you know, I guess I'm paying for that now. But I'm kind of like looking at some of the other people that are on here, and Reiko and Doman could obviously be kind of stuffed in here as somewhat of a little bonus banner. Now, obviously, they could just throw them in for Thanksgiving or something along those lines, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were like, okay, for the 24 million download campaign, we have it follow up on this. We drop like Ibuki and Kentucky, who are obviously really good. I mean, if you need yourself a good Saber farmer, right, for Buster farming, right? I know Mordred's on rate up right now, but until Mordred realistically gets her buff in a like year and a half or year and 8 months, something along those lines, over here on NA, Ibuki's going to be a lot better, right? And even then, debatably, Ibuki's still better because she has the 50% battery, and the undead power mod is probably going to be a bit more useful than the Arthur power mod that Mordred has, right? And then Kentucky is just always going to be timeless. Like, this guy is just never really going to age, right? Just having a big battery and doing big single target damage with the way that they're throwing out these 90 plus and 90 plus content, these guys will just always be very, very good, especially because there are some really weird nodes where you can do like single target farming, right? You can do single target looping, and Kentucky's really good for that. Just really good free damage. You can loop his skills, and he's a berserker, so I don't know, barring it being like a foreigner enemy, he's gonna be fine. But the two people that we don't have on this that are, you know, on the story clear thing over here is Reiko and Doman. Now, Reiko's a little bit interesting because if we didn't get her buff for this anniversary over on JP, I'd be like, obviously you don't summon for Reiko because, you know, this was her skill before they buffed it. And it's like, yeah, the rest of her kit is nice. You know, you can do some nice crit damage, and these are very nice power mods, right? If you want to use her as a Buster Looper, practically she has 3 different power mods, right? She has Demonic, Earth, or Sky, right? Like, these are 3 different things you can use her on. So while she's not like quite the 3 damage, quote unquote, if you want to say that say Arjuna Alter has, it still makes her very useful. But then they were like, well, what if we actually let her do Buster Looping, right? We give her a 30% battery, and we fix this skill so that it's not just one turn of 30%. We make it 30% for 3 turns. And it's like, okay, now she becomes an interesting option. Although I don't know if I would tell you to summon for a servant who's going to be getting a buff in like 2 years, right? Because it's really early to be summoning for her, especially because she does come back during the 26 million download campaign alongside some other really good units. Although by this point, it's really, really sad because once this banner comes out, it's like, oh, these are all a bunch of like really good Buster AoE servants. You know, Ishtar's very good, Ereshkigal's very good, especially post buff. Ibuki's really good, but then just knowing that Reiko's also going to be a looper, it's like, I don't know, outside the scenarios where you specifically need a 50% battery, you're probably just going to use her because she's just these guys, plus being a berserker, so she's super effective. And again, functionally has 3 power mods. But then she also comes back for the Evocation Festival thing, so it's like, I don't know, while she is really good, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, dude, I gotta get my grubby little mitts on Mommy Reiko. I gotta get my mitts on him. But, you know, it's like, are you going to summon for a unit that's going to get a buff in 2 years when they have other banners coming out? And you could potentially also get them on, say, GSSRs moving forward, because she is a limited unit. So she's going to be on a lot of different GSSRs, and maybe she's going to be on one that you want to summon on. So I don't know, even if they did throw this out here, it's kind of like a bonus banner, because again, let's be honest, Lysenko loves throwing out random banners. I basically predicted the banner almost 1-to-1 for who we're going to get for the Halloween event. The only thing that I was wrong about is that I was like, maybe they'll make this excuse to throw Reiko on that banner because Reiko is a part of the Brave List storyline as part of the Chaldea, like, crazy person brigade, right? And I thought they might just take that excuse to throw her out there, but they still just tossed out Mordred, Leeswin, and Scheherazade, right? We all know that they're going to be doing stuff like this. Doman's also interesting because him coming back around, he's already really good. I don't even think they've touched his kit at all. Like, they haven't buffed him in any capacity because this dude is just good. Like, he's just always going to be a very strong servant. And then anytime, I mean, it's anytime we see a servant, like a new servant procs up and they're either chaotic or evil or both, everybody's just like, Doman's about to cook. Doman's about to get in there. Doman's about to just gas this servant up, right? I mean, one of the fun things to do is you could just take like Doman plus Van Gogh, and then anytime it's a chaotic or evil quick servant, it's like just kind of smush them all together, and you just have this like big circle jerk of quick servants giving each other all these buffs and everything. And maybe it's not the best thing you could be doing, right? Realistically, the best thing you can be doing most of the time is double buffing with like Koyanskaya, double Scotty, double, Castori, right? Because it's just super straightforward and easy, right? And they're supporting, it's what they're designed to do, but it's very fun to do if you want to just kind of take a break. Kind of like using, say, Tamamo instead of a Castoria in certain art setups, right? Just because you want a little bit of a break from just doing the same really OP thing, and you're like, what if I want to flex a little bit of skill? But the other thing for Doman as well is like, even if he does come out, I'm like, he comes back for, summer next year, and then he's going to come back for this Ordeal Call campaign. Although, I think if you're a Doman enjoyer, him coming back for this would actually be a sigh of relief, because you'll notice every time Doman comes back around, it's like summer events, or there's like more hype people around him, because you have to be a massive Doman enjoyer to put your Saint Quartz on him as opposed to Lady Avalon, right? Who, especially when she came out, was only like an exclusive arcade unit. It's one of the few dubs I give arcade over the mobile game, because I still think that we're eating way more than arcade is, all right? Arcaders are some starving children. We have all these banger units, right? And they got like a couple things on us, and this was one of them. So you got to like him a lot to go for him over her, because again, she kind of introduces that fun level that you could use instead of using a Castor. You could use a Tamamo, and she kind of replaces Tamamo in that if you do want to use her for that. Plus, you can use her for farming and stuff. Then you also have, this banner is insane, right? If you have Castoria, this is nuts, because you get the best Arts Looper, or you get one of, if not the best Arts single target unit, right? It is just absolutely nuts. And then even if for some reason you're like, you know what, I don't really like Arts, I don't care about Proto Merlin, I don't care about Ibuki, I don't care about Eris, which is fair, because I don't really care about Eris either, right? Fate Requiem, boo-hoo, I don't care. But then you have Ruler Scotty, and then Wu, who Wu is a very fun unit to use, right? Like, she turns people like Ibuki Saber, for instance, like into being a bit more consistent, just forcing undead damage mod on people, which is just really funny. And then Ruler Scotty, I mean, basically makes Quick more playable, right? Doesn't save Quick like we all thought it was going to do, but it definitely brings Quick back up to par, right? And it makes Quick a much more usable card type, right? And so you get all these crazy units floating around, and then Doman's like, wow, I really wish people would summon on my banner, because you guys dropped me next to, I think the first time they have ever done a banner where they just drop 3 SSRs, like, that are new for an event just right off the bat. Because even this most recent one, they just dropped the Melusine and the Castoria. I guess if you want to count the Summer Morgan technically as being a part, quote-unquote, of that, but yeah, it's getting into semantics. So yeah, you have that, and then you also have this over here, right? It's like, well, we put Doman next to Muramasa, who, even if I'm, and this is a hot take, I'm not the biggest fan of Shiro. I don't really care for Stay Night too much. I'm more of a Zero Apocrypha enjoyer. That's just me, but I understand that people really like Shiro, right? And then Muramasa's kind of like on a whole different level. Like, Muramasa's pretty lit. And then, look, for me, though, I might say that I don't really enjoy Stay Night that much, but one of my favorite parts of Stay Night and Zero is this crazy dude over here named Kirei, who's just going around doing the most unhinged things. So I know if I was summoning on this banner, I'm probably not going for Doman. As much as I do want him, I'd probably go for Rasputin / Kirei over here. So I don't know, just like an interesting kind of thought to have out there that, oh, if we're going to throw out a banner for this, because again, there's nothing here, and we all know Lasengal loves to make these random bonus banners. They love to just sneak some stuff in there, and they're like, hey, don't have enough banners, let's chuck another one out there. And I'm like, well, doesn't make sense to do Ibuki or Kintoki because, duh, we have them coming back for this. But if they wanted to do Reiko and Doman, or even Shuten, I think that's very, very viable. And I think if you are a Doman enjoyer, you kind of hope for that, because Doman is always just put around like the most hype units of all time. Like, he just is one of the most unfortunate units in FGO. Like, every time that he's like, I'm coming back, oh, never mind, here's all the new summer servants. And let's be honest, FGO is the waifu simulator game. If you're playing FGO, it's probably for the wifey. So it's just unfortunate for him to be there. But let me know if you guys think they're going to throw anything our way for this, or do you think they'll just move into, say, GudaGuda, what is it, GudaGuda 5 rerun, I think? Because if you come over and you see some of the more recent things that we're supposed to be getting after Halloween finishes in, oh, what, a couple of days here? It's going to finish on like Wednesday or something. We should be getting the GudaGuda rerun, which, again, you want to make sure you do that. I'm going to have a video coming out on this because there are raids for this, and the raids are really, really good. You got to make sure that you stay up to date on this event, because you will go to bed and you'll be left farming the, like, homunculus babies losers raid, right? Like, you don't want to be stuck doing that. Trust me, I've been there. I was a day behind when this initially came out on NA, and I was one of those losers farming homunculus babies because I was not up to date. Went to bed, woke up, got caught up, and I was like, wow, thanks, guys. Thanks for leaving me some materials. It also drops QP. It's like 3 mil per run as well, so that's also going to be really good. Just a little side there, just a heads up, just to know that that is going to be coming out very soon. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys on the flippity floppity.